For those that's listening out there in the YouTube universe, shout out to Great Pill Podcast. Go holler at him. Hell yeah. Give him a like and subscribe. Go view his channel, if you will. Courtesy of Classic Lights.
This need to be.
Back in the throne's mine. The future's here and it's my time. Straight shot, going for the head with it. Take his head off and say that I did it. Good riddance. Say hi to the bad guy, I'm back in business. If you took what's mine, I'm back to get it. There's nothing you can do, I'm back with vengeance. Now turn me loose. Now turn me loose.
Start that over. Welcome everybody. This is Angels representing for the Great Pill Podcast. If you are new, definitely hit the subscribe button. It helps out. Definitely hit the all bell notification because YouTube is kind of wonky. It will unsubscribe to your favorite YouTube content creators like yourself. All right. So I appreciate you guys. So we're gonna get straight into it. Appreciate you. Definitely Lane Navore. Definitely appreciate you. Miss Love, aka Lola, aka O'Shea, aka Dragon, aka there's a lot of AKAs out there. But I definitely appreciate you coming on through. So definitely hit the like button if you coming on through and passing through. But it's gonna be a very interesting conversation. So we're gonna get straight to the topic about a woman that got detained / arrested in Dubai for various whatever reasons. So I want to share something real quick because there's a lot going on, and I've seen a lot of. Why are my chats not going through? I don't know why your chat's not going through because I see your chat. I don't see chats. I see chat. But I appreciate you. Try again, CJOJ. Try one more time. See if that helps. But I see your one chat that went through. I didn't see your chats. But you're coming in loud and clear. Oh, okay. Well, we'll blame it on YouTube. We'll blame it on YouTube. All right, so if anybody haven't heard of when local news of a actual content creator / CDL driver by the name of Sassy Truck that got arrested in Dubai. So I want to break down a few things here that I saw earlier that was a little bit different from everybody else. So we'll break down a news article. But before I do that, if anybody actually remembers, no, you know what? I go straight to the news. We'll go straight to the news because I don't want to skip everything. So where is it? Where is it? Houston. Okay, cool. I got it. Shout out to the commercials out there for YouTube. All right, here it is. 1, 2, 3. Okay, cool. We got it.
Described as terrifying Houston with why she's being held, Domily.
Well, the crime she's charged with may surprise you, and Dubai is increasingly becoming a vacation spot for a number of Houston women. One who's there right now, according to her social media page, is trying to get back to the Bayou City. But according to her mom, her passport has been confiscated because she was charged with screaming in public.
It also could result in prison time. So it's very scary.
The trip turned terrifying for Tiara Young Allen when her mom says she was a passenger in a friend's rental car and they got into an accident there in.
All right, keep in mind, she was a passenger in a friend's rental car. Let's take notes.
Dubai. Tina Baxter says when her daughter went to the company to retrieve her ID, credit card, and other items left in the rental, Baxter says it did not go well.
She found out that she could only receive those items if she paid an undisclosed amount of money. She dealt with a very aggressive individual, a young man there who was screaming at her.
Baxter says
that's a one-sided conversation, but let's go.
Her 29-year-old daughter ultimately yelled back at the rental car agent, she says, resulting in her being charged for screaming there in Dubai.
And so she is in jail for one reason alone. She raised voice.
It's been very emotional. There are some days I stay up all night crying.
They have a strict law system based on theocracy.
This website warns, quote, laws and customs are very different.
All right, it says United Arab summaries, COVID, safety, terrorism, laws and customs are very different in those in the UK. Of course, be aware of the actions to ensure that they don't offend, especially during the holy month of Ramadan, or if you intend to visit religious areas. There may be serious penalties for doing something. All right, so shout out to the reading, because a lot of people don't like to read when it comes to other customs, towns, and places. Heck, people don't even know how to learn the laws in their own states. But let's go.
So be aware of your actions to ensure they don't offend while in United Arab Emirates. Now, after Baxter says her daughter was charged with screaming in Dubai, her passport has been taken, and the American social media influencer who worked.
Shout out to the truckers out there. Who's driving in dresses in their trucks? I need to know who's driving in dresses in their trucks. Is that regulation? I didn't know.
Works as a truck driver, can't leave the UAE, according to her mom. And her mom says she's been placed under a travel ban pending the outcome of the investigation.
It's very frightening. The longer she's been there, the more reality has started to kick in.
In our opinion, she did not commit a crime. Don't punish women for doing the same thing a man can in Dubai. It's not fair. It's not.
Yeah, but see, at that point right there, it doesn't matter whether it's a man or woman. It's the rules of other countries when you go somewhere. And I think this is a problem with a lot of people visiting every other state or every other country. When you go somewhere, just like your own house, you know, some people have rules of you take your shoes off when you come to my house. Oh, I didn't know that. My mom or my dad in my house, this our rule. They're okay with us in our house. Well, it's not your house. You see the point? It's not your house. So it doesn't matter about the feelings and what your opinion is. It's what the rules are set when you go over there. So that part.
Not right.
Now, the 29-year-old does now have an attorney there in Dubai, and her mom says she's told that she could face jail time because there is surveillance video of her screaming. Now, we have reached out to the U.S. and the UAE embassies. Will government officials step in and give her assistance? I'm still awaiting responses. Reporting live near downtown Houston, I'm Damalie Keith, Fox 26 News.
All right, I'm gonna take a educated guess on that one. I don't think that they will put in any assistance with her, only because, like, we did that for what's her name, Brittany Griner or whatever her name is. We done it already. A lot of political stuff going on, so that's pretty much one of them. A lot of people saying because the president need them special votes for selective minorities, which I can understand that, but again. It is what it is. She's been detained for 2 months so far. But here's the and just because I just want to piece down like just the character of the person when it comes to people visiting other countries, other places, how you already was acting before. So she's about what 24, 23, I believe. So on her Instagram, because I don't want to show anything because it's a little bit extra graphic, but on her, I'm not going to show it, but on her Instagram, I'll just show this part. All right. So on her Instagram, it seemed like she traveled many countries. She went to Dubai, of course, because she's stuck there. She went to Greece. She went to the Virgin Islands. She has went to what else? She went to the Virgin Islands, Dubai, Greece, Cancun. She took cruises, Maldives. I apologize if I'm jacking up the name. She went to Haiti. She went to Colombia. She went to Jamaica. She went to Thailand. All places of the States. She went to Bahamas, Grand Canyon, to Mexico. She traveled to Guyana. And when you check each individual places out that she visited, right? Every video I seen in every country, she just twerking. Every time she go in any little spot, she's twerking. And I'm sitting there like, you're not representing our country well when you go over to foreign soil. You're just not. Either she's like half naked, which again, if it's depending on the country you're at, most people like to dress a little bit less layers, to be cooler, which is fine. But every one I seen her in, she like, excuse my language, lack of a better word, damn near naked and twerking, either with a drink in her hand, twerking, a bottle in her hand, twerking, run around in circles, twerking. So at that point, I'm like, I had to think like, this is a very immature person that's went to multiple countries. And now you went to a place like Dubai that's very conservative, that has a lot of rules that we might think is very strict, but over there it's not. So learn the customs to go before you go over there, because your same attitude, your same personality, how you behave here, is it going to be the same way you behave over there? Right? You are a guest. The same thing we tell most of the passport bros on on various other spaces out there. Learn the customs, try to learn the language, do as much homework, vet as possible. If this you want to go, definitely try to stay local. Don't branch out to like the more, outseen areas, because things might happen. Be very careful who you conversate with, go to bars with, accept drinks. They're all little, nuances, right? That's out there. So you got to be very, very careful of the things you say and do when you go to other people's country. Again, the same rules, the same basic rules when you go inside somebody's house. Somebody's house has different rules that you come over their house. You sneeze, go straight and wash your hands. Most people like to put the shirt over their nose. You walk in their house, you take your shoes off. Hey, if you got holy socks, you just got holy socks. But I want you to take your shoes off when you walk in my door. That is common sense. So I'm sitting here, I'm looking at the channel. So she's promoting, it's her Instagram. She goes by the Sassy Trucker. She has a YouTube channel, the Sassy Trucker, where she does CDL driving. She's been doing it for like a couple of years. She's pretty much like, wearing the short shorts, the booty shorts. Again, back to the sexploitation when she's doing certain things. I'm like, okay, fine. You're trying to get the buzz out there, get the engagement up with your channel. That's fine. And then I see something where she's like, I guess, promoted or acknowledged on CNN. And I said, okay, cool. That's great. Do what you need to do for yourself. And then some said, hey, check out, it was a part in her reels where she was actually on about a year ago. I believe she was on Just Judy. And I couldn't believe she was on Just Judy about a year ago. And you would not believe, right? Same thing we talk about the quote unquote majority, not all, most of the passport bros. We're talking about the character of the individual. What do we say to the passport bros all the time? If you are a sucker here in the States and you think you're going to get you a easy woman or easy lay in another country, if you fail here in the States, you're going to fail there in another country, right? That's what we tell them. That's the main staple we tell the majority of the passport bros that don't understand the customs and the rules and regulations. That's what we tell them. So the same thing goes for here. So this person has a certain character of I do what I want, when I want, how I want, and I am just being privileged as an American, which is a negative taste in my mouth. Because again, when you come to somebody else's country, you got to respect it. All right, so this is what I want to show here because it was where is it? Get that out the way. Share this. Because this is what's her on Just Judy. All right, make sure I got the right one in order. Because there was like a part, it was two parters. There's a one part and a two part. All right, that's the part two. Make sure we have context. Shout out to Pearly Things. We're gonna have some good context in here. Shout out to you, M3TV. I saw your conversation, man. Pretty good stuff. We're gonna have something set up in a group for next Tuesday. Appreciate you, Inky. Okay, be safe on the road, Inky. Be safe on the road. Remember, 10 to 2. 10 to 2. I already know you got your Bluetooth on and everything else, so appreciate you. Say hi to the family and friends out there and listen on YouTube land. So I definitely appreciate you out there.
For those that's listening out there in the YouTube universe, shout out to TheGreyPillPodcast. Go holler at him. Hell yeah. Give him a like and subscribe. Go view his channel, if you will. Courtesy of Classic Lights.
All right, so this is part one of where Sassy Trucker is on. This is about a year ago, where she's actually on Just Judy, and she's been sued.
The wall got hit?
Yeah.
Had you been out with, he's your cousin, right?
Yeah.
Now let's start all over again. In June, you remember when the wall got hit?
Yeah.
Had you been out with?
I'm sorry, this is part two. I want to make sure I get the part one out the way. Like it already got juicy. Something about a wall getting hit. So you already know. All right, here we go. This is part one of the Just Judy video.
In the matter of Whittle versus Young Stearns. Step forward.
Diana Whittle is suing her 22-year-old Tia after Tashawn.
Your last name is?
Young.
You own the car.
Correct.
You, Mr. Stearns, you had borrowed the car.
Yes.
Who did you borrow the car from?
My sister Tia.
On what date? On what date, Miss Whittle?
06/11/16.
Okay, so you borrowed the car from Sierra, and while the car was in your possession, I'm not saying who was driving, but while it was in your possession, you loaned him your car.
Correct.
And while the car was in your possession, it went through Miss Whittle's bedroom wall.
Correct.
And Miss Whittle says it was you who were driving the car.
No.
Who was driving the car?
Her son?
That would be this young man? And you're all cousins.
Yes.
Is this car insured?
Yes.
Was it insured on November 16th?
Yes.
Well, why didn't the insurance cover the damage that was done to her house?
Because at the time of the car, it wasn't Tyshawn Stearns that was driving.
What? Don't talk so fast.
Okay. At the time of the car, when the car hit the house, Tyshawn Stearns was not driving. It was
Now, the woman that's talking out, that is Sassy Trucker, the woman in question that's being detained in Dubai. Again, mindset, character. Mindset, character.
Tyshawn's 15-year-old son who was driving, because when Tyshawn...
Just a second. 1 second. It's your car. How old are you?
19,
When did you turn 19?
January 31st.
So at the time of this incident, you were 18.
No, I was 19.
You turned 19 January of 2016.
16, yes.
Okay. And this incident happened in November of 2015.
No.
It can't happen November of 2016 because we're not there yet. Do you understand? So at the time of this incident, you were 18.
No.
Am I wrong? Am I not getting it?
It was in June, wasn't it?
No, November of 2000, November 16th.
It was June.
Oh, it was June. Oh my God, why did I have November 16th?
I thought I heard November somewhere in there too, but
What happened in
Remember. Remember, November.
November?
Nothing.
Nothing that happened in November. It was in June.
June. Fine. All right, let's do this as a whole do-over. So
I think she's a big fan of Vendetta. Me too.
this happened in June. Are you the boy?
Yeah.
You're her son? Stand up. Tell me your name.
Rashard?
Rashawn, were you hanging around that day with Mr. Stearns?
No.
What were you doing?
In my room?
And you never drove the car?
No.
Have you ever driven your mother's car?
My mom doesn't even have a car.
Had you ever driven anyone's car?
No.
Did Miss Young ever let you drive her car?
No.
What's your first name?
Tyshawn?
Did Tyshawn ever let you drive Sierra's car?
No.
You know, you're smiling there, so it doesn't look as if you're telling me the truth. That would not be a good thing if you didn't tell me the truth. Do you understand?
Yeah.
All right, so that was part one of the Sassy Trucker that got arrested, that got detained of yelling to Dubai. So again, I just want to keep a key point of character, how you carry yourself, your behavior, your thought process. At this time, she was like 23, 24. You know, she can correct me wrong, like about a year off. Not a big deal. Shout out to Ashley. Appreciate you for coming through. So here's part two of her. Ashley, she's like, shout out to Ashley. Said, I hate when they using smile against you. I smile during awkward moments all the time. That's true too. I'll give you that. That's true too. And plus, they're on the television court, so I get it. But I think somebody should have prepped them, like, yo, especially if it's a TV show. Like, look, this is how the judge is. Don't smile. This is a serious case, because that's how judge takes it. You know, this is a serious matter. Nobody came in for a comedy special. We came into, you know, by serious matter. Somebody might got hit. Somebody might get hurt. Might be a domestic case, so forth. So I think that's how judges take it. Like, look, I got it. We got to take it seriously. And so far, this scene was, so far we're listening to Sassy Trucker gave permit. She's at a party. She hosted a party. She gave her young brother without a license, who has a permit, her vehicle to go pick up the cousin that's in question. Yeah, shout out to, I think that's the only good thing from the from C19. You can wear a face mask. You can cover up the giggling and the awkward smiles or whatever. I just wish they allow us to have shades on too, but yeah, we have telltale signs when people, that's another big thing too, especially these podcasts and debates and stuff. Look at the eyes. Look at the eyes, look at the body language. There's a lot of telltale signs there, even if they could be a straightforward talker. But yeah, so we got to have shades on and shades off in court. All right, so here's part two of Sassy Trucker on Judge Judy. And mind you, again, this is about character, how the person behaves, their mentality, just to give a baseline of how everything went. I believe how everything went down very immaturely in Dubai. Because allegedly she's going and saying that, hey, well, she's not even really saying anything. Her mom is sitting there saying like, oh, well, She went there, she yelled, they yelled at her first, like yada yada. Okay, let's just say all that's true. Let's say all that's true, but you still went to a foreign country that you don't know the rules and regulations. You didn't take the time out to read and understand the culture and the customs of what goes down there. You know, you didn't take the time out to do that, which is problematic. What did we say earlier? If I come in, we'll use Ashley as for example. If I step in Ashley's house and Ashley say, "Hey, you have to have your shoes off when you walk in my door." Okay, fine. I have to respect that. I might not like it. It might be awkward for me. Like, yo, I go in my house all day with my boots on, with my shoes on, my, whatever. Or I might feel embarrassed. Like, hey, I might have some holy socks and I'm like trying to play it off. But again, house rules. I got to take my shoes off. Point blank periods. Or you might be, there's another rule too in some of my houses. Everybody don't have this rule in their house. But hey, if you're the guest of the house, usually you're the first person to actually pray over the dinner table. That's another house rule too, right? Most people feel awkward by doing it, but guess what? That's part of the custom. That's part of the rules of engagement of the house. That's pretty much how it is. I go to my older sister's house all the time. She's like, "Hey, you're a guest here. You get to sit in the big comfy couch. You get to stare right in front of the TV. I will bring you the food." That's a rule of the house. I love that rule at my sister's house because I eat good. I get that first plate. I get that first big piece of chicken. That's a great rule. But if there's certain rules that you're not familiar with, you need to learn the rules of the house when you go there. The same rules when you go to different countries. So again, the same goes that everybody talked to, and not all the passport bros, but most people get down and beat down on the passport bros, because we see a lot of buffoonery, a lot of men that goes overseas and don't know the customs, don't know the language. They pretty much go there for women, for the P, but they're not going there for the experience. And then guess what happens? They either get locked up, or something harmful happened to them, or they run out of money, or they get stuck in a foreign country and they're trying to figure out how ways to get maneuver and get away or get around certain avenues, and they don't have the resources or the knowledge to do so. Heck, they don't even understand the language of the places of there, right? They just don't know. Like, I know, for example, let's say I'm just using Philippines, for example. I've seen so many cases where people will get stuck and get used and disrespected by one, but a group of people will actually come up and say, "Hey, we'll help you, house you for a while, allow you to use a phone, so you can kind of figure out what you need to do to either leave from the country and go outside, go back home, or while you figure out that time, let's say it might take you a month, they'll literally house you." I've seen literally so many cases of that. So you have to understand the cultures and the customs of that where you go. Shout out to Ashley. She says, "I am learning Spanish, and then at some point I'm going to go back to," and I'm so bad with names, so Guatemala GT. All right, shout out to you. I will Google that and look into it. Marcus Buenamas, he's always talking about Mexico so much. I had a cousin that went last year. He was so psyched and happy about the experience that he had in Mexico for his first time. He just went on a whim for 30 days and went there. He actually was like, "Yo, like, this is the best experience he ever had." Oh, Guatemala. Thank you. Shout out to you. Look at there. Spell checking. Appreciate you. Guatemala. Thank you. Appreciate that. I think you're from Jersey. us Jersey, us Brick City guys, we always watching out one another. So I appreciate that. But yeah, so my cousin went for like 1 whole month. It kind of freaked me out because this is his first time going. I felt like he didn't do no homework. He just went. He got his passport, went straight to Mexico, had a great time. He's always talking about a lot of positive experience about it. New York. All right, we neighbors. Y'all got some double taxing over there, but we're still neighbors. Shout out to you. And he had a great experience. So I was like, okay, so now he's talking about he want to go back again. So my response, I'm like, "Yo, let me know next time you're going. I would like to roll with you." But he was smart about how he moved in Mexico. He kept it very local. He didn't go out anything further, I say maybe 10 blocks. If the food was great, he kept it very small. He even had like a translator app. Every time he just had like he paced himself wherever he went. He didn't go too far out abroad. right? And he had a great experience. He did the smart thing, but he always were very, very, very humble when he went there, even down to the tipping. That's a great story. He said he went there, ate some food. He tipped them very low. The waiter, waitress, like, hey, was the food good? He said, yeah, it was great. He said, okay, well, they explained to him like about the tipping. And he said, okay, he didn't know. So he tipped them a little bit larger than he would normally tip, because here in our customs here in the States, we're a little bit cheap and less frugal when we tip people, right? Everybody have their little rules of tipping, and he had the pretty much the cheap version of tipping when he went there, that American privilege mindset when he went over there. But he understood. He didn't have no attitude. He didn't try to be bigger than it, have that American chest, attitude. He just like, okay, no problem. Tipped him a little bit more. They was very pleased. He came back there consistently, and they loved him, and he loved them. So that's pretty much it. But yeah. But again, this is part 2 of Miss Sassy Trucker, about her character, her attitude, her personality, comparing to her attitude and personality of how she got to the situation she got into. Because again, I listed earlier, I showed all her stories on her Instagram. She traveled pretty much like 4 to 5 countries that she actually has stamped up there. She went to Mexico, to the Bahamas, of course, in Dubai, maybe more than once in Dubai. And if that's the case, if she went to Dubai more than once and she didn't understand the rules and regulations, then that's even worse. That's even worse. So, Miss Sassy Trucker, I hope you don't get locked up. I hope that when you come back home, you still got your job, you still got your place of residence and all that good stuff. I would love for you to come on through the Grateful Podcast and answer that question. Was that your first time going to Dubai? Because that's a good question. At the same time, if you already went the first time, like I gave an example of my cousin, be hospitable. It's not your house. But if you went there and this is more than once to Dubai, and you having a shouting match with a foreigner, and we're foreigners over there, that's problematic. That's a problem. That's even worse. All right, but let's get back to the video.
In June, you remember when the wall got hit?
Yeah.
Had you been out with, he's your cousin, right?
Yeah.
Had you been out with your cousin that evening?
No.
At all?
No.
Did you ever see him that evening?
Except for when he crashed the car.
Tell me about that.
All right. He was coming to pick me up for a party.
So you were supposed to see him?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was going to sneak out the house because I didn't tell my mom. So then when he came, I guess the car crashed into the house. And then
you guessed the car crashed into the house. And the father like, yes, Lord. Yes. You guessed the car crashed in the house.
And yeah, that's what happened.
So you asked him to come to pick you up, to sneak you out of the house, to go to a party.
Yes.
And on his way there, he went into your mother's wall.
Yes.
Let me hear your
All right, Ashley, this is the point right here. Now, you see both of them sniggling? Would you be okay with that? Would you like, hey kids, y'all need to have some face masks when y'all go to court? Because this the moment right here. If my wall got ran through by a car and I got 2 kids sniggling, the only reason I won't be jumping off these counters because the officers there and the judge there. That's the only reason. Why are we sniggling joking? Like, no. This is a no.
Story.
My story is like, me and my sister was having a party at my house. I get a call from Rashad. He tells me to pick him up, and I have to ask my sister, can I borrow her car to use it to go pick up Rashad? She said yes. So I take the keys and go to his house.
What time was that?
10 something.
Had you been drinking?
No.
Because you wouldn't give him your car if he was drinking. 10 o'clock.
No, he looked like a pothead. I'm gonna keep 100. That's my humble opinion. He looked like he get blazed now and then, and the sister be like, yo, go ahead. It's okay.
How long have you had your driver's license?
I don't. I have my permit.
Why would you give him the car if he only had a driving permit?
That's a good question, Miss Sassy. Why would you, in a responsible adult, a legal responsible adult, give a minor, not really a minor, but he's 18, so he's legal, give him a not even a licensed carrier, has a permit? Why would you give a licensed driver? Why would you give him your vehicle knowing he's not a licensed driver? And I remind you, you're hosting your own party. So that was your excuse from the part one. Your part one, you said, hey, this is the reason I'm giving my little brother the car to go pick up his cousin. When the cousin said his reasons for getting the car so they can go do what kids normally do. That sounds very responsible of you. I'm gonna give permission to my little brother and sister the keys to the car.
Because that night I wasn't able to drive at the moment because I was hosting the party. So I gave Tyshawn the car.
But he's not allowed to drive.
Well,
that's correct. He's not allowed to drive.
With the permit.
No, he can't drive without an adult in the car. You need an adult in the car with you who has a driver's license. You're not allowed to drive.
Yes, ma'am.
That's why you couldn't go through your insurance. Otherwise, you could have gone through your insurance.
Saw that? I think the father on the left, like shaking his head, like, yep. Let's scroll that back. Yep.
Otherwise, you could have gone through your insurance. Do you understand?
I understand.
That's easy. So I don't care who it is who was driving. Which one of these two people are driving? You're the car owner. You're responsible because you gave somebody your car who had no license to drive, and therefore you're insured.
She knew that. She knew that. Even the cousin's husband, I think that's the husband or the father, whoever, he's shaking his head like, yeah. So what's the point of us even being here? You're responsible from the beginning to end.
Insurance company wouldn't cover the wall because an unlicensed driver was driving the car. That's why your insurance company wouldn't cover it. I knew eventually we'd get around to why, because
everything coming full circle now.
You may not have collision on your car, but you have to have liability. If a driver is driving your car with your permission, your insurance company would cover the damage. But you gave an unlicensed driver permission to drive your car.
Right.
She got that dumb, silly look on her face. Busted. Busted.
Great. How much is the wall to fix?
It was $1,600.
Let me see your paid bill or check or whatever.
You know what's crazy? Just hit my mind. It's crazy. Like this is how family have to do each other now. You know you was in the wrong. This shouldn't even been a conversation. It's your car. You gave permission to the keys to your little brother. It doesn't matter if my family member jumped on board with it. It doesn't matter if my family member had the keys. It's your vehicle. This is crazy how family do each other. Like, you know you was wrong from the beginning. Show some kind of responsibility on that.
Listen, you.
Me?
Yeah, you. Just as soon as Bird gets out of the way, you know, that mountainous body of his is concealing you. Let's go.
That's right. Right. Probably she don't need it. Right.
Just the bill.
I guess, yeah.
About the car, I don't believe you. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Just so that you know, I don't believe you. Because neither one of you was supposed to be behind the wheel of a car, but just in case you actually think that he didn't cause the damage, he did. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,600. We're done.
There we go. There we go. Signed, sealed, delivered. There we go. Shout out to Miss He Said and She Says. I appreciate y'all. I think I'm gonna go ahead and take the time out and react to I guess it was a debate. You can correct me if I'm wrong, Nikki. If that was a debate between you and Oshun. After this, I might just go ahead and do that like in I say maybe an hour from now, because it's still on my mind. I got a lot low key. I was rooting for Lola, but then when I saw who was up on the table for the conversation, I said, I don't know. I'm favoring Nikki now. So yeah, I might go ahead and react to that, and then we'll make that a kind of like an open panel for the ladies and the men, what their thoughts on it. Oh, it was a debate. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. I'm still waiting for Nathan Daly. He's ducking me in them YouTube streets. I gave her a very professional letter in the community tab. He's just running from me. I don't know what's going on. You know, he says he's the guy that's, you know, not afraid to debate. So y'all can go talk to him in the spaces. You know, I'm a member there. I support his channel. You know, so yeah. Hey, Miss Nutritional Lawyer. Look at you. Finally grace us with your presence. I appreciate it. Thank you. Every time I come over your channel, you're having some great healthy meal ideas. And anytime somebody might in the real world, they'll say some stuff and I'll break up some of your content as some great conversations and some tips to them to help them out. Heck, I even used most of it just 2 days ago because I had a wisdom teeth pulled out and I wanted to build up more of my my immune system. And I have like my own little recipe on the side for like a vitamin C booster. Right. So I'm not gonna get too much into it. And two, it was like we'll use Robbie for example, because me and Robbie have like this little inside joke where I tell her I can cook better than her. So somewhere down the line, we'll actually have like a debate who can cook better. So I kind of challenge her to like a cook-off here on the Great Pill Podcast. And then shout out to Knowledge and Relationship. Somehow we was in a group chat and we had a conversation. No, she was actually live, and I was poking the bear with a little bit. So she was saying that matter of fact, you might be a judge. You might have you on for a judge for our cook-off challenge. So I challenged Robbie to a cook-off. I had challenged I forgot the young lady's name. She said that she actually said I can cook real good. I said, oh, challenge accepted. And I think low key, I didn't really poke the bear with Ashley, but I think Ashley's down to challenge anybody. She just don't care. But I believe Ashley when she said she can cook. So she's in the South. She throws down. I actually believe her when she says some things. But I was challenging Robbie because she's about the 5-star meals. And I challenged the other lady because she sounded a little cocky for me. So I was like, hey, that's a challenge. So I feel like we can set something up. Definitely set something up where I would love to have you on for a as a judge for the cook-off. So I don't want to be biased. We'll let you judge it, then we can let the the chat and the viewers see for themselves and let them judge. So I'll be the top chef guy taking on the quote-unquote YouTube world of cookers out there and see how that works out. What do Miss She says? I shouldn't have accepted that advice, especially when the woman was never watched one of my shows. You know what? And that's a good thing too. That same thing with I ain't gonna say man Nathan Daly because I'm a big supporter of his channel, and I think the main thing. You know what? I'll give an example. D.O. Saints. I never watched any of D.O. Saints content except for I think like the third time or the fourth time I saw him on Suzette Speaks. But it was some stuff that I was just like against to a lot of his I won't say ideas, but a lot of stuff that he was saying. But it was a good conversation on that end. And then I think maybe here we are a year later. We ended up being back on Suzette Speak about the conversation of Andrew Tate, and it ended up I offered him to come over here so I can present something to him as on a table for his conversation. And it really wasn't even a debate. It could have been, but we kind of almost agreed to a lot of, it was like little hits and theirs. But I thought yours was the debate with you and Oshin was very interesting. So I definitely want to have that. And anybody's welcome to, after the conversation of me reacting to it, more than welcome to join on to everybody give their insights on it, because we already know here in the Great Pill Podcast, we are all about open perspective, open conversations, and I love hearing everybody's nuances on everything's not black and white, but there's gray in the middle. So again, it's stuck to my head, so it's very, very interesting. I don't think it was neither. I'll be honest, I don't think it was neither. And I'm like slowly, I remember most of it, so I want to make sure my mind is fresh when I'm just gonna make it raw and cut like an hour from now and just go ahead and just react to it. So it was very, very, very one-sided. But yeah, but we're gonna finish out here. But so again, back to the conversation at hand about the Sassy Trucker. If you're out there, Miss Sassy, I hope everything goes well with you. I hope that you actually, it is in good spirits. I hope that we can hear more side of your story and a little bit more of the conversation coming out to come. Me personally, I don't feel like you should be detained or longer than 2 months or arrested just because of yelling. But again, that's here in the States. This is my personal opinion, because if you're in my house, literally, if you're in my house and you're yelling at me, I'm kicking you out. I'm not detaining nothing. You got to go. Because the next step may come violence, and that's not something that we both want. So, but understand, everybody's house everybody's country, everybody's state has different rules, different laws, different regulations. So the little fancy lawyers talking about, well, hey, well, all men, guess what, sir? That's predominantly a men's space in Dubai. Tread lightly, especially women. Tread lightly when you go to other countries that's pretty much dominate men, mostly dominate certain countries. Okay. Africa is one of them. Just going to put it out there. So if she took her butt over to Africa, and where she, again, that's another country she was at too. All up on her Instagram. She went to all these countries. So I'm like, I'm kind of lost, like how she doesn't understand to be very respectful, very humble when you go to other people's countries. She was in Africa. She was in the Bahamas. She was in, of course, in Dubai. She was in like 4 other countries. I can't name that. Mexico. She was in Mexico. She's in all these places, but somehow, some way, she just, and it wasn't like, there's a lot going on, a lot of nuances there, but she was in somebody else's vehicle, a friend of hers, because she has like a group on her Instagram. She's more have like a group that she travels with, you know, and she's doing the yelling and screaming. Why are you yelling? This is not even your place to be doing the yelling. Figure it out. You're a trucker. You're making like what, 80, 100K? You got the money. You got the money. You're in Dubai, baby. Let's go. So, but I want to show this last one, for example. Then I'll get to reacting to Nikki's and Lola's quote unquote debate. But this is the point I wanted to make right here. If anybody wasn't aware, do we remember again when, what's her face? Where it is? Okay, cool. Do we remember when Miss how to pronounce the name? When Miss Brittany Griner got arrested, the female NBA player that was detained in Russia, she was detained for a year. Do we remember that? What was she detained for? Because she was a basketball player, played and had vape cartridges on her way out. That was the most silliest thing to do. Do we remember her? All right. I just want to make that very clear. It's something she did, that's something she's not supposed to do. And she was in Russia. House rules. All right. Let me get that one out the way. Do we remember this one right here? If you don't, it will get broken down to you. We also have a woman that was arrested overseas for traveling with a golden gun. Why she's doing that, we don't know why. U.S. woman arrested overseas for traveling with a golden gun. Let me make sure it's blown up for everybody can see. Okay, cool. In the late April, a U.S. resident was arrested in Sydney, Australia. Again, another country, house rules, but normally almost every country outside the U.S. will not permit you to have a weapon on you going there. A lot of countries has zero tolerance on drugs and guns. So why would you go to another place with carrying a gun? Why would you go to another place coming out of another country, bringing in, having vapes, some legal paraphernalia that they feel is illegal? Shout out to Brittany Griner. So Sydney, Australia, after flying in from Los Angeles, Jesus, always California. California just should be just a state all to itself. But Australian Border Force, ABF, for a violation of that nation's Customs Act 1901, Section 233BAB5. If found guilty of the charges, failure to have a permit to import or possession a gun, the 28-year-old woman could face a sentence up to 10 years in jail. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. The fact it was a 24-karat gold-plated pistol in her baggage dominated the headlines, despite the fact owning a prestigious metal-plated firearm is not cartel kingpin expensive. An American rifleman found several U.S. companies that can transform a favorite handgun into something similar, if not identical. It will set you back $980 for a complete 24 karat gold custom. This is a lot. For example, at one firearm, that's the top end high polished. I don't even care about the gun. Bottom line is, why are we even doing it? Why are we even doing it? So we already talked about the passport bros. Now we got the passport sis doing things they're not supposed to be doing. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. So this one's like short and sweet. You go to somebody else's country, be humble. Be humble. If their rules is not screaming and yelling, don't scream and yell. That's it. There's places in other countries you're not even supposed to put litter. You put some litter, you drop a piece of paper on the ground, you leave it there, you will get arrested and detained. That's simple as that. Why is it so hard to understand? We was on the passport bros, not all of them, but some of them. It's going there for the box, for the pee, how they handle themselves. Yeah, it's pretty short and sweet. So again, I wish her all the best. I hope she get out soon. Definitely, Miss Sassy Trucker. Hope everything work out for you, but learn the customs and the rules there. Like, I would love to hear your side of the story coming out, because right now, when you heard your mom's side of the story, also another one too, which I thought was weird. Her Instagram is still active, so somebody still have a hold of her Instagram. It still shows like updated stories. Somebody's still posting on her Instagram, mostly in the stories. So somebody's trying to put it out there. Like, I don't know, maybe they're trying to be an Andrew Tate, try to give the illusion like they're still not locked up, but is locked up. So yeah. With that being said, I appreciate everybody for coming on through. If you're new, definitely hit the subscribe button. Definitely hit the likes. It helps out the algorithm. Definitely comment below. Let us know what you think. Do you think that she's innocent? Do you think that she's was warranted? Again, by her mom. Only her mom's side said that she was yelling. It was one-sided, and whatever the lawyer said. So I don't know. So do you think she's warranted to yell and scream at somebody else's country? Do you think it's okay to break the house rules there? Definitely let us know. So on that one, I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for coming out.
I know you're out there. I can feel you now. I know that you're afraid. You're afraid of us. You're afraid of change. I don't know the future. I didn't come here to tell you how this is going to end. I came here to tell you how it's going to begin. I'm going to hang up this phone, and then I'm going to show these people what you don't want them to see. I'm going to show them a world without you. A world without rules and controls, without borders or boundaries. A world where anything is possible. Where we go from there is a choice I leave to you.